Alright, so here we go. So in 5th grade, right, I had this lady named Miss Bryant. First of all, let me tell you this about Miss Bryant. Miss Bryant was the epitome of a volcano. Like, she was, like, when she spoke, she was old. She had to be in her late 60s, right? And this woman, when I tell you, every time she talked, no matter what she was talking about, spit was always coming out of her mouth, right? Like, it got so bad so nobody would ask her for help because they didn't feel like getting spit on. Like, unless you had a hood on, or if she came to help you, you would put your hood on. Like, even in the middle of, like, beginning of school year when it's like hot in September or whatever, it's like you put a hood on because you don't want to deal with it, right? Like, especially if she had some graham crackers or like those little animal crackers teachers used to give you. No. She was just, I mean, it was like rain. You know, you got a shower at home and at school. It was great. Okay, definitely didn't set my timer right? Oh, okay. Anywho, and so basically to get to this point of the story, me and my best friend, his name was Jacob at the time. Me and Jacob, we love WWE like any kid boys would. We love WWE, right? And my favorite person is Shawn Michaels. His was like Triple H or Randy Orton or somebody, whoever, right? Shawn Michaels was my dog. Had the leap of faith with the elbow off the top rope, okay? Sweet Chin Music put everybody out of business. Retired Ric Flair, okay? Couldn't nobody mess with Shawn. Me and Shawn still cool to this day, all right? But anywho, so we were on our way to lunch one day, right? And me and Jacob were like, we were just like, we've been wrestling, like, I've been wrestling through the whole day. It was like just a full day of wrestling. And for some reason we had recess like before lunch, which is stupid to me. I think because they didn't want us to get sick while we were outside running. I don't know. Basically, so we had recess before lunch. We were wrestling out in recess and all that kind of stuff, right? So we're on our way to lunch, and he, like, I don't know, like, what's this called? Where they like clothesline, right? He clotheslined me, right? And so I'm like, oh, I don't get clothesline. So I get up and I Sweet Chin Music him. And if for y'all that don't know what a Sweet Chin Music is, I'm gonna try to install a video right here in this general area on the top corner of what a Sweet Chin Music is. Anywho, so I Sweet Chin Music him, right? And he literally falls to the floor, like chin groping, just like he's like, oh, crying, all this kind of stuff, and like everybody's like, okay, Alex, what was that? Why did you hit him? The teacher, Miss Bryant, comes over and starts showering me while she's talking to me. She's like, what happened this and the third, right? I'm like, I don't really know. I was bending over to grab a pencil. I kid you not, this is a lie I told. I was like, I was bending over to grab a pencil and I lifted up my leg and he ran into it by accident. And she was like, okay, well, let's just go to the principal's office. So we go to the principal's office, get in there, and Miss LaChapelle was sitting there. She was like, so what happened again? And I told her, I was reaching for my pencil and he ran into my foot by accident. And she's like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna suspend you. And I was like, why? So she suspends me, she calls my dad, I'll suspend it for like 2 days. And then she calls my dad, and so I get home, and I had one of those parents that when you get the call, the parents is waiting at home for you, like for real waiting at home with you. And I come home and my dad's like, so you was wrestling in school, huh? I was like, no, Daddy, that's not what had happened. See, what had happened was, as I was pitting, he was like, ride. And I'm like, he was like, you're grounded for 2 months. So I was like, 2 months? What you mean? No, I wasn't really grounded for 2 months, but like I was grounded for like 2 weeks. I couldn't watch wrestling. It was kind of bad. But I love wrestling though. So this is the funny part of the story, right? If any of that wasn't hilarious. So I'm on punishment, right? And punishment means no TV, no video games, nothing like that. Like no fun stuff at all, right? And so, you know, when we was on punishment, I had brothers in the house, so we would help each other sneak and watch TV, you know, or do stuff that we know we were supposed to do while we was on punishment. And I didn't, apparently, I think I was asleep and I took a nap and I woke up and wrestling was on because I heard my brother watching it in the next room, right? And so my idiot self didn't think to like comprehend the full situation. And I sit there and I come out of my room and I peek in the other room and watch TV. And our TV and our computer were in the same room, like for the whole house. So I peek around the corner and I'm like ducking my head in there watching TV. And I'm like, ooh, she's new. It was like a new wrestler or somebody. I was like, ooh, she's new. I ain't seen her before. And my dad turns over and looks like, really? And I'm like, oh, I was checking to see what time it was, and as an actor, I'm sleepwalking. And my dad was like, go back in your room before I hurt you. And I was like, well, alright you guys, that was my story. That was my story time. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys thought it was funny, enjoyable, and all of the above. If you did like it, like, subscribe, and comment. Leave me comments on what you think I should talk about next, or a story time you think that I might have. Whatever. If I do sing, and all of my social media stuff will be linked in the bottom box. So like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next week. Alright.